To create our ISO chart, remember we have some specific instructions to follow. So please make sure that you follow each one so that way you create the correct chart. So our first step was to do our color correction layer. I'm not going to walk through that since you guys already know how to do that. But after we've actually created our levels layer adjustment with the color correction, we want to make sure that we merge our visible because we actually want to pull a piece from our layer. And right now, if I try and take anything over, it's going to try and take stuff over from just that levels layer adjustment. So I'm going to come to my layers panel. And to the outside, I have these 4 little bars with the flyout menu. I'm able to come down to the merge visible. Now I'm going to make sure that I hold option on my keyboard first, click my merge visible, I release with my mouse, then I release from my keyboard. And that allows us to create a copy. So instead of it just flattening the 2 pieces together, it now produces a whole new layer with all that information. From here, we need to change our size because we have a really big document right now. So we're going to go into our menu bar and we're going to choose our image option. From here, we're going to choose our image size. Once we have this panel open, we are going to look at our bigger side, so whether it be your width or your height, and we're going to change that to 24. So my bigger one is my width because I have landscape orientation. So I'm going to turn it to 24. My height will automatically change because these are linked right now, so don't worry about changing the other number. But we do need to make sure that we change our resolution to 300. So that way when we take it over to our collage document, they have similar resolutions. We're going to click OK. Unfortunately, this part sometimes takes the computer a little bit of time to process, so you just have to give it a moment to go through and actually resize your image. Once your image has been resized, we can quickly go in and do View, and we can fit on screen. So that way we can see our entire image instead of just part of it zoomed in. This is where we're going to actually take a small sample of our image and take it over to our collage. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to come to our marquee tool because that's going to allow us to make a selection and choose a specific area. So I'm going to come to my rectangle marquee tool. Remember, if you have a different tool right here, if you hold down on it, you'll get the panel and pop out and get to choose. So I'm going to choose my rectangle marquee tool. I'm going to make sure that I am in the style of a fixed size. And then we're going to make our width 1.5 inches. Make sure you put your unit, otherwise it's going to default to pixels and you'll have a very, very small selection. And our height to 2.25 inches. That means that when I click on my document, my rectangle marquee tool is going to draw a box that is exactly that size. So we can see that we have this 1.5 by 2.25 inch box. If I click, it's going to keep drawing the box. If I click inside, I'm able to click and drag it around to a specific area. So I chose this area as the part that I want to sample from because I've got a little bit of sky, I've got some silver coloring and some building color too. Now to actually move these selected pixels, I need to come to my move tool in my toolbar. So I need to come back to the sky. And then when I come inside, you can see it becomes a little cursor with a pair of scissors. So when I click on this, it's going to actually cut and take those pixels. I'm going to hold down and drag it to my collage document. I'm going to keep holding on my mouse and I'm going to drop it on my document. And then I'm going to position this one at the very beginning because this was my ISO 100. It's one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that we named our ISOs so that way we could easily tell. And from here, just real quick, I'm going to grab my type tool just because I remember what is what right now. I'm going to click and release and then type 100 for my speed. I can grab my move tool and just kind of move it towards the center. So we're going to repeat those steps with our speeds of 200, 400, all the way to 6400. So hopefully on that 6400 you guys are really starting to see that noise become present. And so in your ISO chart we're going to have kind of a clean image all the way to a super noisy image. Make sure you save this as both a Photoshop document and as a JPEG.